Okay, let's begin part 2 of the 8th class. Although this is week 3. Disregard that. We're going to talk about the spleen. Here's that Taoist image of the spleen I was telling you about. I don't know if you remember, but early in the course, it's like a pillar. Like a column of light. Things grow from building on each other like a column. And if you're frightened, you can scatter, or afraid, or difficulty letting go and grieving, and it disseminates. Those are those. If it's spleen, we talk about that energy going all around and being fractious and all over the place, everywhere but being in one pillar or one place at one time. So when we meditate on the spleen, that idea of energy consolidating, still mind, quiet mind, so that the energy can come to us, come back to us, as opposed to our thoughts being so fractious, past, future, all that stuff. So that's my interpretation of what the spleen energy is about, in terms of that like bow tie or column of energy. That's why it looks like that little thing. The spleen contains the blood. If the stomach qi is strong, all of the 5 zong and 6 fu networks will be strong. I say 5 zong because I don't think they're really giving pericardium as a zong organ, but whatever, that's Classics of the Central Viscera by Master Hua. Meaning if your gut energy is strong, the other organs, since we live on earth and we're an earth animal, and spleen is the earth element, then the rest will have a good chance to. In the West, they talk about it as a vascular lymphatic organ, a reservoir, like lymphocytes and macrophages, filters blood, and even makes blood early in life. Chinese medicine, brings in this huge area for digestion. Maybe it's the pancreas, what they're talking about. Maybe it's just the spleen. Healthy digestion of food creates healthy blood. The spleen makes the blood. How does it all go with those with blood? We got spleen makes blood, liver holds blood. And hold meaning like if you sleep well, then that blood can get held in that unconscious state and anchored well. You have to store it well. Food needs to be stored well, otherwise it goes bad. Liver does that. Poor sleep, that's like you leaving the food out overnight. In the morning, it's no good. Put it in the fridge, nice container, it's nice and held well. That's the liver. But makes it, I would say, is the spleen. Food comes in, you eat it, you break it down into energy and blood. That's the 2 of them. What's the other ones that happens with blood? The heart commands it, right? That says, moves it. Well, it actually may be the liver that moves it, but it's the heart that decides where it should go. There's a little tweak there. Is that it on the bloods? Kidney doesn't do anything with blood, does it? I don't think so. Lung? Not really. So is 3. Makes it spleen, holds it and moves it, liver, and tells it where to go, heart. We'll see. Digestion, blood coagulation, Fluid metabolism. Now that's two organs with fluid metabolism. Lung and spleen. Oh, a whole bunch, okay. Breaking down food and transforming to something that's useful is the spleen. Ascending the clear energy, so the mind is clear, has energy, is awake, isn't heavy, poor concentration, tired, poor memory. That would be the turbid rising. It should be turbids descending. Healthy spleen lets the turbidity go away. Governs blood. Well, I thought we just said the heart governs blood. I think you're going to see the word rules blood for heart. Governs, I think, is more like governs the production of blood. So it's like there's a warehouse, and there's like someone who, and there's blood in the warehouse. In the warehouse, it's about making blood, and there needs to be someone in there that tells blood how to get made, who governs the production of blood. That's the spleen. And then the guys who ship it, the blood somewhere, is the liver, and the guys who decide where it's getting shipped to is the heart. That's the whole. Does that help? Like kind of that little, thinking about a shoe factory. Who makes the shoes? Spleen. Who drives a shoe to the store? Liver. What stores do they go to? Heart. Is that okay? Is that kind of, because you have to wrestle with these a little bit to say, governs, rules. What's the difference in govern and ruling? That's what I'm trying to, governs the production of. Muscles, flesh, extremities, healthy blood, healthy muscles, healthy flesh, opens the mouth, not the throat. Throat is lungs, mouth. Part of the alimentary tract is the spleen. Brilliance in the lips. Spicy food you have, kind of burns out the inside a little bit. Your lips will be kind of sore. Poor immune system, you get that cold sore coming back on the lips because your immune system dropped. Lips, spleen. Patient comes with a cold sore, can you help me with that? Of course you can. There's herbal things you can put on there and you work on the spleen. Done. Acupuncture and herbs for the spleen, and toxin points, and herbs for the immune system and toxins, and heat. Because it's red and it hurts and it burns. No big deal. Maybe have them stay away from spicy foods. Get more into cooling foods like cucumber, asparagus. Lips. Dry and damp combined. Okay, stomach likes being dry or damp. Spleen likes to be dry or damp. Dry. Nice. And I think, to create a balanced milieu. Production, there we go. There it is, production of qi and blood. I knew it was in here somewhere. Makes the qi, and which makes the blood, precursor of the blood. Causes blood to stay within the vessels. Yeah. Those blood vessels have walls, and it's the strength of that spleen which controls how strong your blood vessel walls are. Strong blood makes a nice strong tube. Weak blood has a tube that can break easily, so someone bruises easily when they bump into stuff. Or they get varicose veins because they get to the surface and they do like kind of funny things. Or, even bigger veins. How about so big those tubes, like we call them intestines? Little blips, diverticulitis. What happened to the integrity of the wall? It kind of made a bubble of, it lost integrity. Spleen. Causes the blood to stay in the vessels. Contains the E, ability to think and remember, pensiveness and worry. That's the spirit of the spleen is E. We'll go through this in a moment. Look to the gut, abdominal distension, bloating, gas, loose stool, diarrhea. Be so careful with patients who like Imodium. I mean, if you have to travel because you're just like, oh, I gotta travel, then okay. Man, if you've got some reason why you're having diarrhea and trying to get rid of stuff, get rid of it. You know, you've got some toxin in your body's very smart, it's trying to eliminate it. Same thing with vomiting. If you're vomiting because you're food poisoning, good. You know, I mean, it's violent. Vomiting is very violent. It's like this, you know, but it's the body's genius to get a toxin out. Take anti-nausea, anti-vomiting. Careful. I mean, if it's chronic, someone's having like vomiting because of chronic, not because of stomach, like a food poisoning, that's different. You know, because then you start venturing into, could be, you know, you might need to have a bigger approach than just, you know, it may be a little more complicated than that. But if it's just simply vomiting because of, you know, like a stomach flu or food poisoning, you know, that's good. I mean, even in some forms of medicine, they would give you emetics, they call them, like, you know, something that would cause you to vomit. Not too popular in the U.S., but classically, yeah, you know, things to help rid the body of toxins. So, however, if the spleen qi energy is weak, then you can have issues with diarrhea or constipation, abdominal pain, epigastric pain, gas, flatulence, heaviness sensation in the body because of damp accumulation because the spleen isn't transforming the food into qi, it's transforming into dampness. Disharmony of the spleen meridian, pain at the root of the tongue. I don't know, swollen glands, maybe an example of pain at the root of the tongue. Yeah, your lymph node, you know, you got a virus thing going on because your immune system is a little low, and you got terrible sore throat, acute pharyngitis, swelling of the inner side of the lower limb. Okay, that's where the channel goes. You know, more nodes there. Peptic issues, gynecologic issues, because it's blood. And the channel goes through that area. Genital issues. See this a lot, especially with men after 40s, getting, you know, the PSA a little high, you know, the prostate enlarging. That's a gland. Swelling. That's spleen qi deficiency damp accumulation. You know, I don't know. Zijinzatong. I don't know. Start with Zijinzatong and get some things for damp in there. As just a starting point. That's an herbal form to help tonify spleen and drains damp. It's just a starting point. It may not be a cure-all for everyone, but go in that direction. So literally a gland is swelling. Genital pain along the meridian. Okay, so look at all in the brain. I had a patient yesterday called me about an aneurysm in the brain causing him to have a tinnitus ringing in the ears. There's a lot of blood vessels in that brain. And that's not even the brain, that's just the outside. I'd work on the spleen. You know, I'd work on the spleen if someone has, what was it, ischemic or hemorrhagic? It was hemorrhagic. Okay, so the blood vessels were breaking. We talked about that earlier. Spleen unable to keep the blood in the vessels. Spleen, work on spleen qi. Can work with that. Herbs for that too. Anyways, not able to absorb, transform, and transport. Spleen qi is weak. You're not metabolizing the food good into energy. You're storing it as fat on the body. Raising and clearing of turbidity. Hope that you guys will get a sense of this. That clear energy comes up. You know, you eat a clean meal. Your head is clear. You do some fasting. Your head gets clear, and you start descending to turbidity. You know, you have some beers and wines and, you know, like fries and burgers, or like a, you know, bagel, like a heavy carb, man, you just go right to bed. You just, you know, you can't even think, you're so tired. Once or twice a year I have a bagel, like, I don't know. My mother has this over in bagels, and I'm telling you, after I have that bagel, I'm like done for the day. It's just so heavy. Imbalance of dryness and dampness. That's also like the lungs. And spleen containing the blood within the vessels, we talked about that. Unbalanced mental activity harming spleen, we talked about that. You know, if you're thinking too much, you're brooding too much. You got worry warts coming in your office. We got a lot of people in our culture with worry warts. they worry chronically about their children, about themselves, yada, yada. You'll go a long way doing acupuncture on the spleen and stomach channel and giving out herbs to tonify the spleen. You'll go a long way with your practice. Sure, if you want to throw in harmonized nervous system, go put some liver stuff in there too, gallbladder. We have a very big full practice with just focusing on those two. Unbalanced mental activity, and we get good results with this one. This one's not that hard. Tonifying spleen, we can do that one pretty good. Harmonizing nervous system, we can do that. Ir Shen Men, Yin Tong, I don't know, gallbladder 21. Ir Shen Men, Yin Tong, gallbladder 21, help to send the energy, liver 3 in the feet. I don't know, kidney 1 if you really want to go for an anchor them. What else to help? Gallbladder 34, gallbladder 40. I'm just thinking of things on the liver channel just to harmonize the nervous system. Ear 0.0, sympathetic point back here. Armm, helping this person sleep at night. You'll learn these ones if you don't know them already. They're just strategies to harmonize the nervous system, nourish the blood, and calm that liver energy. That's the nervous system. Spleen points, got the 4 doors in the stomach, stomach 36, spleen 6. I don't know, Li4, Li11, all that Yang Ming stuff, which is large intestine and stomach stuff. We're good with that. We got good herbs for that. That's one that's like, Western medicine doesn't have a lot to do with that one. Just take lithium. I don't know. Or calm me down. Just take Xanax. And very little discussion about lifestyle, which we get into because we spend time with our patients. We talk about lifestyle adjustments. Let's get a meditation going for you, Mrs. Johns. All right, well, tell me about, all right, let's talk about your nutrition. We got a lot of nutrition. You get some nutrition training here, too. A lot of Western medicine does not. They go off a very dated, food pyramid. I don't know. Other things you might have. Your Tai Chi teachings, Qigong lessons. Get them lifestyle more active. Movement in their body. Yeah. Okay. Spleen is then going to govern flesh and muscle, so slow wound healing, muscle strength, poor muscle strength. Spleen issues. Spleen disorders affecting changes in appetite and taste, sensation. Sometimes when you see like patients with radiation chemotherapy, their taste buds really change because it's tough on the spleen. The spleen is working so hard now just to make new blood because everything's kind of been like, like the whole town has been leveled, and so like the construction workers are really overworked trying to build things back. The spleen is working so hard. So your taste buds are a little weak because the spleen energy is weak. You can do a lot of work to help people that are helping them with managing through their chemo and radiation. Let's meditate on the spleen for a few minutes. Find yourself in a comfortable seated posture. Help the mind to be still. Let go of all thoughts. peaceful heart, healthy, happy spleen. So we'll work on the leg tie-in pathway, the spleen channel. Begin the energy at the big toe, both sides, and runs inside of the foot, crosses the inner ankle. And travels along the inner side of the lower leg and thigh, where it enters the abdominal cavity. The energy moves internally where it connects with the spleen and goes up to reach the heart meridian, the armpit, its internal branches. And externally, the channel continues moving towards the chest. And branches out to the throat, and the root of the tongue. Soften the face. Find the breath. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands to your heart. May all the good merits of this practice be offered to the liberation of all beings from suffering. And when you're ready, you can slowly allow yourself to come out of your practice and allow your eyes to open. Any questions about this practice? Again, this could be one you would teach. I see it on one slide, but you teach them. This is it is both sides of the body. It comes up to the throat. So it comes up. Taiyin, lung and spleen, have to do with immune system, water metabolism, health of the body. Today we went over the lung and spleen. I think we ran out of time for questions and answers. Perhaps next time. Or we can talk about it after class if anyone has any questions. Okay, so meditate 15 to 30 minutes at home each day. Journal each day a little bit. Take a half day in silence, especially in the spirit of energy consolidation for the spleen sheet. Begin writing 2 to 3 page. It doesn't have to be 2 to 3 page paper. It could be 1 page. In fact, it probably should be 1 page. It's just something that you're going to give to your patients. Maybe it's a pamphlet. Maybe it's like a 3-fold, trifold pamphlet that you might give to your patient. Or maybe it's just a 1 sheet. Or maybe it's a diagram you can explain to your patients as you're working with them. But it would be something that you would give to a patient so that they can better be introduced to meditation. Some of the benefits of meditation, some techniques, and perhaps you could try during meditation, some intentions behind meditating, like offering to all beings a good merit. Today is week 8, so this paper is going to be due 3 days after week 9. So not this Saturday, but a week from Saturday. And the best thing to do would be to email it to me. If you email me the paper, so you got 10 days maybe to work on it, or I'll remind you next week too. But if you get it to me by Saturday or that weekend, then I'll have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before that last 10th class to actually get a chance to look at it, make some comments, and get you back some of my thoughts on it. So I'm just putting it out there to start brainstorming. It could be some stuff that you had just even in your journal, or some of the stuff from our class, or some stuff that you've just learned on your own. But do 3 days after, not week 4, but it'd be week 9. And you can email it to me, either that email address or armm@lotuscw.com. And then I'll return it to you not on week 5, but week 10. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful week.
So.
See you all next week. Sorry to keep you over a moment for week 9.